What you doing?
Sharing the show. That's right. We're back. We're doing some sharing here, and then we'll get on with the show. Oh, I gotta share again. Hold on. Copy link. Go over here. One more share. Oh, nope. Go here. Come on. Come on.
You ready?
Almost. Just got to put in the link. Go.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
Stand by in 3, 2. Oh, where's my headsets?
Oh, yeah.
Here they are. Okay. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in a warm cabin tonight. Hey, Dan.
You all right?
Yeah, actually, I'm roasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike is in full hunting gear inside a cabin. I'm kind of worried about him. Absolutely. I think so. What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for hunting season.
Well, you're not leaving till the end of the week. Are you going to be like dressed the whole week like this or what?
I hope not. Actually, I want to prove a point tonight.
You want to prove a point?
Yeah.
Okay.
For those on the podcast, you can't see what I've got on, but I've got on what I was shooting in today. I went out and shot my bow, and I was wearing my hunting jacket, my gloves that I'm going to use this year, the hat that I was going to use, and a hoodie, which is inside my coat right now.
You look kind of warm.
It's hot, so I wanted to demonstrate something tonight.
So basically, this is your hunting getup. Well, you posted a video earlier this afternoon that you were out practicing.
I'm going to take these headsets off. This is not working right now. So,
well, because you won't have headsets in the blinds.
No, I won't.
So
this is how I started shooting today. Okay, because I've got a scentlock hoodie that I wear, and I went out and wanted to shoot my bow.
All right, and they say to shoot like with everything that you're going to be wearing, just to get the same feel with when you're out, as opposed to shooting in July when it's 80 or something. And
right.
Now it's Michigan and it's 32 degrees.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so I got you.
So got my bow out, went to shoot, and we're using the new stands releases this year.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I noticed was my trigger hand. When I went to draw, I finally got tucked in, but when I was making contact, I had a hard time trying to find my anchor point.
You were having a tough time feeling through the glove. Your rest point.
Yeah, because the glove's, it's not real thick, but it's thick enough to where I couldn't make that good contact. And the first round, I was shooting a group like this at 40 yards.
Okay.
For those of you on the podcast can't see,
an 8-inch pie plate.
Yeah, which to me is nowhere near what I need to be doing.
Right, exactly. So okay, all right.
So first step, take glove off.
All right. So you took the glove off and started shooting again.
Got back in, got anchored, made good contact, and felt really good.
Okay.
Problem is the people on the live stream can see, when I drew, I'm trying to get tucked in back here.
Right, exactly.
I've got this going on, so I took the hoodie down, but I've still got a collar.
You've got a pretty good collar on your hunting jacket. For the people on the podcast, he's got a pretty good collar on his hunting jacket, and he's got it zipped up pretty much all the way, like in case you're getting wind or something.
Yeah,
And you got your hoodie on underneath that over the top. So
it's bunched up.
It's bunched up. So okay, so you took your glove off.
Yeah.
You're getting good anchor point contact.
Yeah.
What did you do next?
Well, I was worried about punching the trigger when I draw in because I'd have to kind of roll down and dig into here.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I did a Facebook Live explaining this.
Right.
Jason Pfister down in Ohio, who we shot with down at Adams Archery.
Yep.
At a tournament, and the first thing he said is, for those on the live stream can see, take the collar, turn the collar,
and tuck it in,
and tuck it inside.
Ooh, that's a good tip.
So now that opens up this whole area on my side of my face.
Okay.
Okay, so bang. Right in there. So I don't have to worry about punching that
Yep.
trigger, setting the arrow, errant shot or anything like that. So it opens this all up. So this is the way I'm going to have to roll in something similar to this get up.
Right, exactly. You're going to have to remember to turn your collar down.
Yeah. Can I take this off now? I'm roasting.
Well, you're the one that put it on, so you can do anything you want.
Trying to help everybody out here tonight. All right. Hey, give me just a second. Danny, entertain everybody while I take this.
You know what? Good evening to Jason, Tammy, Jim, Dan. Welcome to the live cast. Yeah, Mike has taken off his clothes.
No, I'm
Just
not.
here. Cover your eyes. Here, I'll cover your eyes.
Jacket, taking off
Okay.
my hat, taking off the hoodie.
Hey, look at you go.
Whew,
It's
feel
been a
better.
good week, though. We've
Yeah.
started Monday. Mike and I have been to the gym,
Yeah.
and we've been
Getting ready for hunting season.
We each went 4 days this week, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to take a quick trip to Columbus, Ohio on Friday. Saw an excellent concert. Went to the home of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Boo.
Never been to that stadium. That was kind of cool. Like I said, it was a good concert. And then I got back, and then this morning, you and I hit the gym again, knocked off a 5K walk, and
Yeah.
we're starting slow, so we're not out there pumping the iron and nothing like that. We're not banging weights. We're not.
Right.
We're just getting into it because
Right.
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. Hey, before we really get going tonight, for everybody that's on the live stream, actually, by the time you hear the podcast, this is going to be over. But
Right.
I want to let everybody know tonight is the last night of our coffee giveaway from Hunter's Blend Coffee. While you're watching the live stream, scroll down. You can still listen to us.
You got till midnight.
Got to midnight, or do it after the show. We'll remind you again. Get in the coffee giveaway.
Yep.
Follow the instructions. Basically, what you got to do is get on the post and tag two of your buddies, two friends of yours, and go over to Hunter's Blend Facebook page, and like their page,
Correct.
and get yourself in for a drawing of 2 bags of coffee
And
tumbler. Yeah,
And
which
if
I don't have here tonight.
You don't have it here, which you will win. And the 2 people that are in the post that was selected will each get a bag of coffee.
Yep. So there you go.
And
You can enter as many times as you like.
you can enter as many times as you like.
Do it before midnight.
Also, if you want to just go over to their website, check them out at huntersblendcoffee.com. If you make a purchase, remember to use the promo code capital UNJ, and you'll get 10% off your order.
Absolutely.
So, Denny Steiner is now watching.
Hey, Denny. Welcome to the show tonight.
Yeah.
Glad you're tuning in.
Hope to see Denny at ATA. That should be good. Hope he
Denny,
makes it.
go over to our Facebook page, scroll down a little bit, and get yourself in for some of this coffee here. Get a chance to win. So, there you go. All right.
You can use this pen, okay?
Why?
You're appreciated.
Oh. I'm appreciated. Okay. Nice. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. I appreciate your appreciation.
It just caught my eye. I was like,
Okay, whatever.
So, anyways, yeah, we've been to the gym. We continued going. We talked about maybe entering a 5K here in December. That's going to be in the area just to get out and do something.
Well, yeah, I went to the doctor, month and a half ago. Hurt my knee at work. They sent me in just to get checked out. And I tipped the scales, literally. They about tipped over when I got on them.
That's not good.
I've been, I've put on a good amount of weight here in the last 2-3 months. They're feeding us at work during this training and bringing in
So
decent
basically,
food, so
you sit, eat, sit.
Yeah, and been packing the weight on, and I was getting a little hefty to begin with. So I tipped the scales at 261.
Okay.
It's the biggest I've ever weighed. Last time I went on one of these excursions to lose weight, I was 258. Got down to 202, and I'm like, I can't hunt, I can't climb tree stands, I can't get to my stand in a good manner if I don't lose some weight. So I got on that kick. Well, now I'm back up 261. So I said, you know what, it's time to do something. Ask you, what was it, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago?
Yeah,
or
about
so?
2 weeks ago when you were switching over your new
I
shift.
said, hey, you belong to Planet Fitness, don't you? And no endorsements here, just that's where we're going.
It's in the area.
Yeah, so I went and I joined, and you and I started on this journey together to
Yeah, absolutely.
lose some weight and get healthy.
Basically, I went to every year. I get to go get a physical for my dog for work, and I'm doing good. Of course, you can always do better, right? And he threw out the carrot there. If you lose, in my case, basically, if I lose, well, he did the BMI thing,
Right.
and if I can get it below 30, we'll talk again. He said.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I've been down this road before, but I just want to lose the weight anyways.
Well, I'm getting out of breath real easy,
Well, that's not good.
Walking to my stand or riding my bike, I ride my bike to my stand most of the time. And you know how I worry so much about scent control. You're huffing and puffing, you're creating sweat, it's not good for hunting. And it's not good if you get a deer having to drag a deer out. We hear horror stories about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I started the first day. I started on the bike, the stationary bike. Did 15 miles. Did 17 the next day, and 17 and a half the next day. And today you and I went and did the treadmill thing, which kind of hurts my knees, but I got bad knees. But we did what?
We did a 3.2.
Yeah,
5K.
So yeah, we're getting healthy.
You know what's gonna you'll notice the difference, and I remember this from when we did a rabbit hunt with Randy.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years ago.
That's when I really started losing weight.
Right.
And I could tell when I was walking the woods how much better it was. And kind of like the same thing you'll see is once you start losing it and getting it out of there, and you start walking the woods like we do, and you'll be like, hey, I can handle that.
Right. Well, not that I'm like a marathon runner now or anything, but you know what? After that first day, I felt good. And after the second, third day, I felt even a little better. It's just you feel a little invigoration. You feel like you can do something, and I'm getting my getting a little wind back. But guys, if you're going to spend time out there now, do it for yourself, do it for your family. Don't take any chances getting out there and having a heart attack out in the field.
That's right.
So
don't need that. Don't need them coming dragging two things out, the deer and you.
So, but I did weigh myself today, and since that doctor's visit, I've lost 8 pounds.
Good deal. Good deal.
I'm getting there.
It's like I said, it's a marathon.
Yep.
It's not a sprint. So
hopefully this time next year, I can say I've lost, 20, 30, 40 pounds.
There you go. That's what you do.
So that's the direction we're heading.
Right, exactly. And speaking of the direction of we're heading, Ron Moses finally joined us with a report of nothing, zip, and zero.
He just got out of the stand.
Yes, he posted that he was in the stand when we went did our live drop earlier. And Matt Howard, hello fellas.
From Ohio.
Nice
game last night, by the way.
Oh.
Sorry, had to go there.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends on who you're rooting for.
Because David Boggs is a Purdue guy.
That's right.
He'd be happy.
He was happy. Randy Duncan be happy too.
Right. Another, so. But yeah, how you like that weather?
Wow.
A little rain.
I started my day yesterday. I had to go to work early, and actually I was in East Lansing. I had to do a pregame show for Michigan State game. Beautiful start, beautiful sunrise. Got there before daylight, and when it came up, crystal blue sky, clear sky. Temperatures were getting 40-ish, and then all heck broke loose.
Well,
we wrapped our gear up and got out of there before the game started. And all of a sudden, hail, snow, rain, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, thunder, and lightning. And I'm like, hey, it's October. It changes just like that.
You are not kidding, because when I started heading north from Columbus, just like you said, sunny, little light wispy clouds.
Right.
And then as soon as we hit the Michigan border, it's like, that's awful dark off to the west.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, what a shock. And then to be sitting at home the rest of the day and hearing it kind of heavily rain into snow at times.
I couldn't imagine being in a tree stand yesterday.
Yesterday would have been interesting, especially when that wind kicked up.
Right.
You ever hunted in high winds like that?
Yes, I have. And it's not fun. I'll tell you what, though. Let's continue this conversation. We're already up on our first break. So
there you go.
Let's step outside. We'll take our first break, and we'll be right back after this. And for those of you on the live stream,
Matt Howard, Jason Pfister, cruel. Matt Howard's laughing. Two Ohio guys laughing at each other. That's always good. But you know what? Yeah, exactly. Let's get that continued out to the gym.
Yeah, we got to. And guys, in all seriousness, get into some kind of exercise routine. Just don't go out cold hunting.
Guys and girls, because girls can have a heart attack just as much as a guy. And
absolutely.
it just,
take care of yourself.
even if it's a little walk. I found that just a little bit of a walk every day makes a big difference.
Okay, 1 second here. We'll get going with the next segment of the show. Man, that segment went by quick.
I know.
All right.
That's what happens when we're rocketed in the cabin.
Having fun. All right, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show, talking a little bit about health in the woods.
Health of the woods, and what since
Getting ready to get in the woods.
Yeah, we went into that last break. What is the roughest weather you've ever hunted in?
What do you? I guess it mean. What do you define as rough?
You
I did a 6-hour set in about 20 degrees, blowing and heavy snow in a tree stand during muzzleloader season.
okay? That's yep.
That was pretty rough. Shot a doe that night, and it was just one of 2 deer that I saw that whole day.
Really?
Yeah, I spent 6 hours straight, and it was just a cold, hard blow.
Wow.
It was one of them things. It's like, yeah, that's, I think I can handle this. Yeah, okay, that was dumb, but it paid off in the end. I did hunt in some high winds during one rifle season, and I was stalking. I got down into the swamp where I thought a cedar swamp where I was like, well, this will shelter some wind. Well, all of a sudden the wind picked up even more, and there were some deadfalls around, and a limb started dropping, and I was like, I think I'm going to get out of here. Hey, Wayne Sitton, thanks for tuning in tonight, man. Appreciate you being on. So, but yeah, that was
pretty tough. 6 hours of that, eh?
that cold hard blow, yeah, with the heavy wet snow. It was coming down, and yeah.
2 things come to mind. In the UP,
That 17-inch opener a couple years back.
actually, that wasn't bad. Well, that wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was a rifle season. We were out. Gale force winds, gale warnings were up.
Okay.
By the end of it, I was questioning what the heck I was doing out in the woods.
Was that when the Edmund Fitzgerald sank by chance?
No, not that long ago, but
Okay.
it was November.
Okay.
It was. I mean, the wind was blowing. I had a tree fall right behind me.
That'd get your attention. I had a heavy limb fall behind my hunting shack 2 years ago.
And it ended up being probably about 20 feet short of my blind.
Yikes.
And it's like, okay, I'm out of here. And the other one that reminds me is I was out hunting. We saw the front coming in, dark coming from the west. And that first bolt of lightning, yeah, I was done. I was out of the woods.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, that was the one. The tree and lightning, I just put
Right.
2 and 2 together, and it was just like, yeah,
Time to go.
Right, but
We do crazy stuff, man. That's that's what we do when we hunt. We
Right.
push ourselves. And but kind of going back to when we started the show. Yeah, I had all the get up on, but you know what, guys? In all seriousness, if you're going out bow, shoot your bow with your gear on, because I found out today that I really need to make a couple quick little changes, but very important changes in my shooting. I couldn't imagine if I had not done that and got in the tree stand and drew back on a buck or even a doe. It doesn't matter, or a coyote, whatever. And all
just
of a
drawing
sudden-
back, and all of a sudden you have total difference.
Yeah, bad anchor point. Can't get into my anchor point because of all the clothing, and maybe hitting that trigger, and all of a sudden I've thrown an arrow.
Yeah,
So do yourself a favor, get out and shoot with your clothes, the clothes that you're going to use, put them on.
right,
shoot your bow.
exactly. They we've always said, because when we were hunting, let's see, when did we shoot with Dan? That was July,
I think it was July. Yeah.
June,
July. Yeah, somewhere in there.
and basically we were in t-shirt and shorts, right?
Right?
And so no gloves, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are a few months later, and guess what? It's, well, I don't even know what the temperature was, 40 something today. It's like, yeah, things are going to be different, right? So
Right.
it's just like, now the people, now I don't know about your dad, down there in Alabama. Does it get like to that cold down there that he would be, or you, if you went down there hunting, would it get that cold where you'd be putting on all the clothes, or just?
Yeah, they do occasionally get snow. The problem down there, when I've been down in the winter down there is it's a real damp cold.
Okay.
You know, a heavy cold. A lot of moisture in the air. That's what I noticed when I'm down there. Yeah, it can get down to 0, 15, somewhere in that area, but it doesn't last for a long time like it does here.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
yeah, I have no problem hunting down there. I don't think, as far as having the right gear and being able to withstand
cool.
it. So,
And that's the difference we have here in basically. Almost like in a weekend, we can go through all 4 seasons.
right. Yep.
And if you're, and for me, especially up in the UP, which I can do, it's like, okay, how do you prepare for this? Okay, you just take everything.
Well, that's just it. And that's what I'm doing this week is getting my stuff together because I'm heading up this coming weekend to spend a week up north.
Yep.
I'm going on my sabbatical. So
Yes, you are.
Spend a week in a tree. But yeah, I'm gonna have to take everything just to prepare for warm weather, medium weather, cold weather. Wet weather, dry weather, whatever. So.
I mean, and now, according to the weatherman, after today, it's supposed to be dry for a while. Sunny and dry. So, we'll see.
You know what? That'd be fine, especially if it's cold mornings. Get some good heavy frost, get some freeze.
You
Days
should.
around 40 degrees, I could handle that all week long. That'd be beautiful.
Nothing better than a 32-degree morning with about a 50-degree midday.
Yeah.
And getting cooler from it.
But I'd like to see a front come through at some point, too, so I can get ahead of that front.
You know what? Well, if it's... I would think after a while here of being sunny all week, you're going to get a front or two to come through.
I would think so. So, we'll see. But
Got to check the weather.
all right, so what else you want to talk about tonight? I know we got a couple things in the news, so to speak, that we want to talk about. So
Sure, where do you want to start?
and we'll get some dander up on this. I'm quite sure. So we'll see where this goes.
Came out, which one are you going to talk about first? The UP one or the one? How close is that to you over in Oscoda?
Let's talk about the Oscoda deal.
Okay, let's go there.
Actually, let me throw a map up here real quick, folks, on the live stream. And what we've got here in the last couple days is we had a news alert come out. Let me pop this up so I can actually read this and get the correct information on this before we talk too much about it.
And let's just these two items came out this week.
Yes, both of them did, and they're not good. The one came out from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and the Michigan DNR. It's a do not eat advisory.
And have we ever had a do not eat
On fish here in the Great Lakes,
on
yes.
fish? But I like to.
Not to my knowledge. I've never heard of anything like this. But this was in Oscoda Township. Basically, it's like due east of a little southeast of where I hunt.
And for you, those out of state that are looking on Lifebook, that's right about there.
Well, I got the map up, dude. You want to show everybody?
I want to show everybody my.
Okay, show them your map.
See?
Go ahead.
It was funny because we did this. And Michiganders can go to Florida too, and they just got to turn their hand, and there's Florida.
Goodness, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, basically what's going on here is this map we got up right now. You can see what's old Wurtsmith Air Force Base, just over at the edge of Lake Huron, over near Oscoda. This base, I think, went out of commission 20 years ago.
About, yeah,
it's
at
20
least.
years. So. And basically what it is they used firefighting foam on the runways for planes when they come in. If they had a fire, it's fire retardant.
Yep.
And I believe it's a plastic that's in this of some sort.
A poly.
Some kind of poly.
If you move that screen, it's right there. Poly. Right there.
Polyfluoroalkyl
Substance.
Something like that. But anyway, it's a PFAS. And this stuff got down into the groundwater, basically is what happened. Over the years, over several years, maybe decades. And deer in the area, obviously consuming water.
Looking at the map, there's two big bodies of water at each end of the runway, it looks like.
Yeah, there's Lake Van Etten there, and I'm trying to remember what the other one is here. The Foot Dam Pond. Okay. Anyway, the deer got this in their system. Okay. And for whatever reason, they started doing some testing around there. They tested 20 deer, and one of the 20 deer came back with a level of the PFOS in the muscle of the deer was 547 parts per billion. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but the level that's safe is 300 parts per billion.
Or less.
Yeah, or less.
Okay.
So it was almost twice the level that's safe to consume. So now we've got deer running around with this chemical in them, and it collects in their muscle tissue, and that's obviously what we eat on the deer.
That's
So
right.
they're saying
So it's like, don't eat it.
in this blue, let me put the map back up. In this blue area here outlined, they're saying if you're hunting in this area and you shoot a deer, do not eat it.
Yeah, and I don't know how is that a miles around that area? Must be.
Let me see here. 5 mile radius.
You know, and it's amazing that
It's a 5 mile radius around the air base.
they must have used a lot of chemical.
Well, I got to imagine they probably practiced a lot.
That could be.
You know.
It
But do you remember back? Not to get, I don't want to get on this political bandwagon right now, but everybody has heard about Flint, Michigan, and we live right here, just out on the edge of it, and the water problem we've got here.
Yep.
Okay, this problem here at the air base came up about 2 years ago, I believe. They started testing up there and found that the groundwater up there had a problem, not the same problem as Flint, but had a problem with stuff being in the water.
Well, it seems that the Flint thing has kicked off. That's been a couple years now, because now they're finding it in multiple cities in the state.
Right.
They're finding it in Detroit. They're finding it out over on the west side. They're finding it and it's just a matter of the pipes are getting old, folks.
And in this case, now we've got chemicals in the groundwater. This base hasn't, like I said, they haven't used this as a quote-unquote Air Force base. They still use this base for commercial stuff, but it's not a military base.
Yeah, it's not a military installation anymore.
So they quit using this chemical, I think they said about 20 years ago or so.
And so wherever this one deer they was closest, they got you kind of wonder where they took that deer from.
Well, they said they took it near the marsh, Clark's Marsh. Let me put the map back up for those on the live stream. You can see Clark's Marsh. It's there in the yellow.
Right, which is right next to the runway.
Yeah, so that's where they found the deer that had the chemical that was inside the muscle matter. But they tested 20 deer, and 1 in 20 came back, and now, that's what they've said to do.
Yep, exactly. So
now my question is, what are they going to do? Are they going to let nature take its course here, or are they going to go through and are they just going to go in and try to wipe deer out? It doesn't get rid of the chemical, and more deer are going to finally filter back in.
Right, exactly. And then click that article real quick. Just reading that real quick. An additional 48 samples of deer muscle from the 2017 hunting season were tested from other areas across the state. Preliminary data shows that these deer no PFAS contamination.
Well, that was going to be my next question. How this chemical, how widely used is this chemical across the United States?
It tells you right there that it must be, because all of a sudden now they're saying we better test other areas. It doesn't say what other areas they tested.
Right.
Are they testing, if they test, we got Flint Bishop here just to the north of us.
Right.
Would they test around there, or would they?
I don't know.
And it just goes to show you that they're testing things that now all of a sudden, ruh-roh.
Well, how many years have we been, they're still telling women who are pregnant to not eat fish out of certain lakes
absolutely.
and river systems here in Michigan. And I don't know, what was that due to? Was that due to PCBs, or was that another chemical that was in the water?
It might have been another chemical.
Mercury?
I think that was one of them.
Heavy metals in the water.
Heavy metal. I know.
So it's from industry, but our wildlife is being affected by some of this stuff, and we're just now getting to learn about this, and we're like, okay, now what's the ramifications? How widespread is this? What does this mean for the animals? What does this mean for hunters? What does it mean for the area? That area in general for hunting. Are people going to quit hunting in that area? I know somebody that hunts near that area.
Okay.
Not in it, but
that'd be my next question. Is okay. So they find it out. It just comes out. We're already in October of this year. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen between now and next June's recommendations that are going to happen? That
Good question.
What are we gonna? They're going to have to. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's all you can do, because it's out and about now that they're going to be testing.
Tom Gensel says firefighter training was done there for years. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's the reason there was so much of that stuff in the groundwater there. And I do know that there was concerns of human consumption of the water in that area.
Okay.
I mean, that's been in the news as
Absolutely, because that if there's cabins or anything on those water systems, that they're
Okay.
Might be pulling it through the.
Here's my next question. Okay, so let's take this another step further. It's in the groundwater, but we've got lakes, rivers. This is in a marsh. Is it in the water itself, or is it down in the ground? If it's in the water, okay, we've got aquatic species. We've also got birds, ducks, geese that fly through there. Should we not be eating the fish? Should we not be eating the birds?
It begs for more questions.
So
because going back to what you just said, is it in the water, or is it in the plant matter, or
right?
Because you're looking at a really big lake right next to it,
right? Yeah,
and those all feed into that lake,
right? Exactly.
So it's like, so there's probably more to come on this.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard the last on this, and I just wonder, what's the they call it the half-life of these chemicals in the ground? How long does it take for this stuff to get broken down?
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
depleted out of the soil to where it's no longer a problem.
Yeah, it makes you wonder because it's a poly.
Yeah,
those last, I do believe, a long time.
I would imagine so. But yeah, just another thing to worry about here in the state of Michigan.
Right, exactly, and that's one of them.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're bumping up here on our second break. Let's take our second break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation here about this and another piece of interesting news that came out this week here in Michigan. We'll be right back after this. Okay. Hey, AJ, what is going on? Glad you could join tonight. See if there's anything else that's popped up. Tammy said, talking about our exercise, eliminate consuming any food that is white. That will help drop the pounds off quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to really limit the bread that I'm eating. That's one thing I've really tried to do here in the last couple months.
And
I don't drink any pop to speak of either.
Moderation.
Yeah.
If you do it all in moderation, and if you start watching the carbs, that's usually a good one.
Carbs are so delicious.
They are. I know. Rice is a huge carb thing, and I love rice.
Okay. Save this one off. All right. Let's get on to the third segment. And here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show. Still sitting here in the cabin. I get tired of talking about bad news all the time. It seems like every time we turn around, something's going on with our wildlife.
Hey, we had a couple of pieces of good news. I got a deer. Gabby got a deer.
Yeah.
My cousin's got a deer. I guess we're due for some bad news.
Well, hopefully next week we can turn around and I get a deer.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. So it's like, okay, so next week you can come through.
You get a deer. You get a deer. Everybody gets a deer.
Right, exactly.
Well, I know what I'm going to get right now. That's some more Hunter's Blend coffee.
You do that. I had my 1 cup for the night, now I'm good.
So, and guys and gals, make sure, like we said at the beginning of the show, get over there and get into that drawing.
You got till midnight tonight. If you're listening on the podcast, it will be too late. But you can still get time over there to go share it. You like that sound, don't you?
I do, yeah. Good coffee. Got a little too much cream on it tonight, though.
It's milk.
It's not
cream. It's milk.
Whatever.
All right.
Still a little too light for my liking, but...
So we got another piece of great news this week, by the way, which...
could affect you.
I'm sure it will.
In some way, shape, or form. Do you want to handle this one?
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Let's pop up another map. What do you say?
Yeah, hey, pop up another map. That's always good.
That's the UP.
That is the UP, and that is directly east of where I'm at.
The next county over.
Next county over, absolutely. Found some CWD on the deer. Do you got that article up?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Right there.
Actually, they found this deer during damage shooting permits in Dickerson County.
So these were disease or
farm control
permits that were issued.
Yeah, so
and they shot a doe.
They shot a doe that was 4 years old.
Okay.
And
so they were doing the right thing, shooting all does.
Okay. They did some testing and came back positive for CWD, marking the first confirmation of the occurrence in the Michigan's Upper Peninsula, which, by chance, is connected to Wisconsin.
This deer was shot on a farm about 4 miles from the Michigan-Wisconsin border.
Right, exactly.
You mean to tell me that deer do not obey the state line and stay within their state?
They should.
Just
well, we put up deer crossing signs. Don't they read those?
Right.
Anyways, so now what they've done is they've identified, this came out October 18th, Thursday, I think it was. So what they did is they immediately went into CWD mode and threw up a is this a 10-mile border or a 5-mile?
I'm not sure here.
And so
Have to read the article.
this year alone, as of October 11th, a total of 625 deer damage permits, roadkill, and hunter-killed deer have been tested from Dickinson, Gogebic, Menominee, and Iron counties. All those but up to Wisconsin.
Right.
So what they're doing is they're trying to watch it to see if it comes across the border. And guess what? Well, somehow one in Dickinson got it. So now
And you're in Iron County, which is right next door.
I'm right next door.
Okay.
I'm basically 30 minutes from the border.
But what they're not doing is, like they did here in the Lower Peninsula, they're not making every county around this a management zone.
Not yet.
You know, this.
And I get a feeling, I think I know why.
Okay.
I think it's too late in the season to throw that up.
Okay.
To say, you know, they've already got everything, all regs for the year basically have been started and rolling them out.
Yeah, but you'd think, though, if there's disease, you know, and you got something that's emerging there, that they would take the approach of trying to stop it. You know, I mean, I don't know. Going back to how they handled the baiting. You know, they're going to ban baiting, but they're not going to do it this year. They're going to do it next year in the Lower Peninsula. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Okay, if this is really this important, why aren't you doing it now?
Right.
You know, they're letting it go for another year. But this here's let me throw the map back up again. A 10 square mile area. You can see the dark blue line there around the area. That's called the core area. And then the light blue area around that is the management zone. And that actually goes quite a ways to the north, which kind of surprises me. And covers that whole lower.
Well, I guess if you threw an arc, I guess, but that's still a lot further than a few miles.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Right, exactly. And if you look at the article, it says several actions were taken by the DNR, including providing additional drop boxes for deer heads within the area, especially in convenient high traffic places, like they're doing down here. Offering disease control permits to interested landowners who have more than 5 acres of land within the 5 miles of the center of the surveillance area. And then they're going to allow baiting for the deer to continue for the rest of the year.
Like the lower.
With future decisions on feeding deer will be based on results of a surveillance effort. What are they going to surveil?
I don't know.
Maybe. And the last one is an ongoing DNR UP deer migration study will be adjusted to include the affected area within the boundaries. Deer will be collared in the area to better understand the movement of the deer. Don't
they already have some of this information on how deer migration's working?
I sure would.
Upper Peninsula?
You would think.
Okay.
Because I know the Mississippi that was in our area, Mississippi State University, that was doing theirs.
They're doing that predation study.
They were doing predation. They collared some does, and they watched a doe that was in our area basically go from just north of me almost to the city limits and turn around and come back. That was her migration part here. So,
okay. Up there, obviously the winters are a lot harder up there than they are in the Lower Peninsula, on average.
Okay, so
the deer, they can have huge deer yards up there.
Yep.
Okay. With that being said, and there's no doe permits issued up there.
Okay, so basically if you took Menominee County, which is the county which would be the tip of the upper there.
Okay.
And then you've got Dickerson where we're in. Those two counties would do a lot of the doe permits that have been ongoing.
Okay, they have been issuing them up
Yeah.
there, just not in your county.
In basically the whole top of the Upper Peninsula, most of the Upper Peninsula, except for like the point of the upper, and I think there's another area or two. But we haven't had I have not been able to shoot a doe in, it might be 10 years now.
Okay.
And basically what we've been doing is we've been doing the double buck tag, which is APRs, or you do a single,
right,
which you can shoot anything. So either way, but we haven't been able to shoot a doe. So now, what's going to happen? So if we follow what the DNR did this year, basically what's going to happen is they're going to start, and they'll go around every county that attaches to that county and say, let's start shooting.
I would think you would have to keep the population down, like they're trying to do down in the south. Maybe, hopefully not to the degree that they want to, that they're trying to do down in the core area down here in the southern peninsula or the southern lower peninsula. But if they don't, you're gonna have these big deer. I don't know. I've not hunted up there, but from what I've heard, they got big deer yards. They group up. They're going to pass this off to one another, and you're going to start to see this start to grow. That's just me thinking on basic knowledge of what we already know.
So my first question is, now I think in this article it said, well, there was an article where we saw when we were kind of looking at this that they found a deer that was in Wisconsin that was CWD positive,
just across the border.
So then. That's my question is, okay, so in Wisconsin, how does that
relate to that boundary?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So how in Wisconsin, where's the CWD line, or where they found it to Michigan's line?
Right.
Now, if you take in the migration pattern, okay, you might have a connection, or you might not have anything. So it'll be interesting to watch, and it's again, I'm questioning a conference call with stakeholders.
That was mentioned in here.
Yeah, it's right above. It's right above that, right there. The conference call with stakeholder groups is scheduled for early next week.
Okay, yeah, you and I had this discussion today earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of.
What's a stakeholder?
What's a stakeholder group?
Who are they?
What are they?
Who owns the majority of the land in that area? I'm just asking.
You know, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking paper companies or timber companies.
Okay.
Is going to probably be the two biggest ones up there. They used to be.
Those are the big stakeholders.
So it'll be interesting to know what's going to go on up there and see what happens. And kind of reading along this as we look at that, underneath the bullet points, an interesting process and dispose of your deer carcass.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Would you like to visit the website to learn about the proper carcass?
I brought a thing home today and actually looked at that. In a hazardous waste landfill.
Is where you're supposed to take the carcass.
Yep.
Okay, so obviously when you go to a landfill, they're marked that you could bring hazardous waste.
So now deer carcasses are hazardous waste.
The ones, all of them.
Taken out of those areas.
In those zones, it doesn't matter. It becomes okay. So now here's going to be my other. If they do what I think they're going to do next year, and if they make me a CWD zone, which will be entertaining, I'm going to have to bone my deer up.
You won't be able to bring it out of the county.
Right. I'm going to have to bone it up right there.
Interesting. On this point here, if you know, at the TV station I work for, we do that segment On the Trail.
Yes.
We've been talking about this. The gentleman that I work with on this from Williams Gun Sight and Outfitters, Tom Wright, the owner, he just realized that in the county he hunts in is a CWD management zone, and he lives in a county that's not in a CWD zone at all. And now he has to treat his game differently and follow the protocols in order to be able to bring said game home.
Yep.
And we're talking about that. Actually, I just shot a story on it, 2 stories on that this week. And the first one's going to air tonight, actually, and the next one next week. And the week after that, we're going to talk with Morgan Warda, who is the MUCC / DNR wildlife coordinator, cooperative coordinator. And we're going to talk about the ramifications of people hunting in a CWD zone or management zone and what they have to do, because those two are handled even differently. And what you can and can't do of taking game and how you get that game home legally.
Right.
So there's a lot of issues with this, and it's going to change, especially for you. So if you're up, like you and I have said here in the past, that if you're up hunting and you got to be back home Sunday, Saturday night, you're probably not going to hunt Saturday night, because if you get a deer, what are you going to do with it?
Okay, so
I mean, really.
all right, so
Do you just drop it off at the butcher and say, "See ya, I'll be back in, whenever I can to get it"? Because I mean, how long does it take you to get there? 6 hours?
From my house, it takes me 7.5 hours.
7.5 hour drive?
Yep.
I mean, really?
So, okay, how do I cut up a frozen deer?
That's another good question.
Because in November, it's going to get a little chilly.
Yeah.
It's going to get chilly at night.
Well, we saw what happened with the doe that I shot last year.
And that was in December.
That was in December.
So, am I going to have to bring it in the cabin, thaw it out, and slice and dice?
Well, it's
Put it in my sleeping bag maybe and warm it up?
things you got to think about now.
Right, exactly. That's it. It's like, okay, because I also like to let them hang.
Right, and age.
Just age and just let the deer just. And it's like, okay, so now, depending on what we do and how many we get, we might actually have to say, okay, guys, this day we're not going hunting because
all hunting's done at this day at this time,
Yep.
and it's time to start processing.
The next day we're gonna either that night pull the deer in to somewhere warm, and then the next morning we start cutting.
Okay, let's take it a step further. You want to get the taxidermy work done on this. That presents a whole nother area of problems that you have to deal with, and that's exactly what we're talking about on our On the Trail segment
Okay.
these next 2 weeks.
Okay, so let's go to the part 2 of that. Now I can't bring the head back to my local taxidermist who I like.
Depends, and if it's a management zone or if it's a core zone.
Okay, if it's a core, you have to bring
Can't
it.
leave the county,
So you have to take it to a taxidermist in the county.
or have all brain matter cleaned out of the skull cap.
Okay, so you
Which
have
means, in order to do that, if you're going to have a shoulder mount done, or let's say you got the money and it's a real nice buck, and you want to do a full body mount, you have to completely skin the whole animal. And when I say completely, head, nose, ears, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
You got to skin it out, and then you've got to take the skull cap off and clean it of any brain matter,
Yep.
any and all.
You got to totally.
And still, you got to debone the animal out. On top of that,
You haven't gotten to the deboning yet, but
Right, so-
right. And so now,
I tell you what, hold that thought. We're up for our last break here, so
right.
we'll continue the conversation on this when we come back. We're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this. All right. Lots of good discussion here.
well, that's usually how it goes.
It's this guys and gals out there, if you don't hunt in Michigan and you don't hunt in a state that has CWD issues, these things are real life problems for guys who hunt in these areas but don't live in them and have to figure out ways to get their game home. I mean, these are real issues.
Right.
Every hunting season.
Now I know. Well, we'll go next segment.
All right, I'm almost there. Give me 1 second. I got to find my cursor.
I hate when that happens.
I lost my cursor. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. And here we go. Stand by. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show. I've got Danny riled up.
No, it's just one of those things that we're gonna have to deal with if it comes. But I'm on the assumption that something's gonna happen.
You got to prepare for it.
Right, exactly. So okay. So when we left the last segment, I shoot a really nice buck. Mm-hmm. And this all depends on what happens with next year, because if they just leave it the way it is, nothing changes.
Right.
Or now I have to find either I skin the whole entire animal so I can bring it back to have a taxidermy down here, or I find a taxidermist up there.
Right.
Number 2, I debone the animal, bring back the meat, or take it to a processor there. Don't know when I'll pick it back up, but that's another story.
Right.
So now, here's my question. We've only talked about deer.
Right.
Has there been anything into the other animals? And we talked about this. Because there's going to be now, okay, so we got deer.
Right.
There's coyotes. There's wolves. Mm-hmm. There's bear. There's moose.
Bobcat.
And bobcat.
Right.
Do any one of those have it?
CWD basically affects the cervids.
Okay.
What we know, what we've been told, is the predators pass the prions.
That's exactly what we've been told, and that's where I hope it stays.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
it hasn't jumped species.
Obviously, with this coming out just Thursday, and what they said here, stay tuned. I'm sure between now and June of next year, there's going to be a lot of discussion with the UP, because the UP is a different animal than the Lower Peninsula.
Absolutely.
That's a total different. First of all, you get
it's like a whole different country.
It is, literally, because you've got the northern side of the UP and the southern side. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, and then you've got east and west.
Right.
And going from that point, we'll have to see when they talk to the stakeholders what goes on.
Well, it's going to be interesting when we talk this week, when we do our interview this week, and just get the basic information. And that's really what we're trying to do with the stories that I'm helping with, is just getting the information out to hunters, because I still think there's a lot of people that hunt, especially here in southern Michigan, that maybe live in this area and hunt on the west side of the state and maybe a little north, and they're in these CWD management or core areas, and maybe, I think there's still a lot of misinformation out there. I think there's still a lot of unknowns, and people just flat out don't know or haven't heard them, really understand what to do. So, and that's what we're trying to do, is just educate people on what the rules are.
I think there's a lot of unknowns, and I think Colorado's been dealing with this since the 60s.
Right.
So a good model, I think, would be to look at Colorado and say, okay, what do you guys do? Because their plan has been the 60s, and that's for 50 years ago.
Yeah, right. And taking this, you mentioned taking your game to a meat processor. Strangely enough, we talked with a meat processor 3 weeks ago, and this whole subject was brought up, because he's in this county here, where we're just one county over is a CWD management county. And I brought the question up. I was like, how do you handle this? He goes, I cannot take deer from that area.
Right.
He says, I won't take them. He said, the first thing they've got to be done is, if it's a management area, you drop the head off within 24 hours of killing the animal, drop the head off at a drop box, check station, whatever, for testing.
Yep.
And then they're supposed to get back in touch with you and let you know if it passed or not, if it's got CWD or not, if it's suspect. And I said, well, what do you do? I said, well, once them deer come in, he says, we quarantine everything and put it, in a quarantine area, as long as they've got that tag that says that they've dropped that head off.
Oh, yeah.
Awaiting testing. He said, as soon as I put that deer on my table, he said, it's a wood table. He says, that table is ruined. Not to mention the other equipment involved. So, think about the meat processor and what they have to deal with these prions, because prion, they've already said you can't burn them. You can't get rid of them. You can't throw bleach on it and wash it away. It's a protein. It's not a quote-unquote living organism.
I had this talk with the processor up in our area last year. And definitely afraid if it shows up in our county. And we didn't get into specifics because we knew at the time it was across from Wisconsin. And I asked him, so I said, he goes, it's not going to be good. And now you explained why. So now I understand what he's probably going to go with. Matter of fact, I kind of want to stop there and ask him. I probably won't have to this year, because we're not in that area. But if it becomes that area, I'm going to have to stop in there and say, hey, are you going to be accepting deer, or what's going to be going on here?
Right.
And I know that...
and you think of those guys who do that, they rely on this time of year to make that extra money.
He retired, and I was talking to him about that. He goes, I said, that's awesome, you can retire. He goes, yeah, I'm just open 3 or 4 months here now for like the hunting seasons and like into January.
Right. And
he says, I'm good for the rest of the year. And then I'll start back up, periodically.
Right.
Because he does like beef and
sure.
other animals. But yeah, he's like, I'm retired, but I just do this because I know I can make some good money in 3 months.
Wow.
So obviously it's more to come. This just came out this week. Both things came out.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the plastics one, it said they checked across the state at other spots, so they're obviously aware of it. This became a problem in Oscoda. CWD showing up in the UP. Thanks. I'll blame Wisconsin. Can I blame Wisconsin?
You blame whoever you like. I don't care.
Okay. I blame Wisconsin.
Send all emails to dandefault@upnorthjournal.com.
Right. But anyways, stay tuned. I'm sure between now and next year, we'll be right back at it with a nice bunch more discussion.
You know, my question is, when does this stop? When are we ever going to get past the point where we're worrying about what's in our game? You know, that's the thing. The beautiful thing about wild game is we always say it's pure, it's healthy, it's the best meat you can get because it's not injected with chemicals, it's not injected with steroids, it's not, you know. And now we found out our deer's full of plastic.
Our free range deer is full of plastic.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I mean, this reminds me of back years ago when we had the big push for people to not eat fish out of the Great Lakes and certain rivers.
Oh, yeah.
We still have some of that. You can only safely eat so many per week. You know, I mean, I don't fish, so I don't have to worry about it, but.
And even then, depending on what river system it was, what Great Lake it was like, okay, you can only have so much of this fish, so much of that fish.
Yeah, right. Because of the heavy metals.
Right. So I know they've cleaned it up a lot. I tell you what, there's one thing I will definitely say about the United States and Canada is we are a lot better than some other countries out
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's one thing you get to look forward to.
You know, I don't care. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, don't. But it's just because I know from the business side of what I do, hearing it from the good months to be there and the bad months to be there in certain countries, and it's like, okay then.
Right.
So, but anyways, you are heading north at the end of the week.
Yeah, that's right. It's my first trip, my first hunting season. I bought my tags today. I got a fistful of tags, and hopefully I can fill 1, 2, 3 of them maybe. I mean, that'd be nice if I could fill 3.
There you go.
But, I'm going to get up there and see what I can do and try to put some meat in the freezer and have a good time, go on my sabbatical.
Start slinging some Carbon Expresses.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
I got a quiver full of them.
No.
Shooting today, 40 yards it's I dare something to step out 40 and in.
I will be glad to take that text that says you got something.
Yeah, 50 and in. 50, I'm pretty solid, but I just don't know. I don't know. It's.
You gonna try to beat your muzzleloading record?
Dude, that would be awesome. And I could think that it might happen a little easier with that because the bow don't go boom. So I can reload on that quicker than I can a muzzleloader.
It just quietly goes.
You're right. So.
Right? So yeah, no. So
no predictions.
No predictions, but we will keep in touch and see what happens when you're up there.
Absolutely.
And but other than that, we got to do some working out this week.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna get back at it. Tomorrow, hit it again and stay at it. So, now as far as the live stream goes, next week we're not going to do a live stream.
Yep.
I'm not tearing the studio apart and taking everything north of me. So, the plans are to do a podcast from camp. Don't know if you're coming up yet or not.
No.
Still waiting on that. But if not, I mean, if I have to do one solo, I'll run you through what I've been through for the first couple days at camp. We'll do something. And you know what? And I might even throw a couple out during the week. We'll have to see how that goes, but that's a possibility as well. But our next live stream will actually be 2 weeks from tonight.
Yes.
So, also, 2 weeks from yesterday, which will be November 3rd, we're going to be at Cabela's in Chesterfield, Michigan, doing a Field to Fork special down at Cabela's.
Yep. If you've been paying attention on social media, Cabela's has been promoting from the field to the fork.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing some seminars there using the
gear that you use to process your game.
From the field to the fork.
How you prepare your game and how you preserve the game.
Yep.
So that's the 3 things.
We got 3 seminars, I do believe, we're going to be scheduled for. We'll be there from 10 till 4 on Saturday.
Yep.
It's 1 day only.
It's a 1-day only deal.
So it's probably our last show for the year down there. I don't know of anything on the horizon for this year.
You know, and have you looked yet at what they're doing down there as far as what they're going to give away? Before we let everybody go here, let me just let me get on here and find this.
And because we're gonna have to move out of the way for Santa Claus.
The big fella's coming.
He is,
and he's going to be here soon.
Right, and that'll lead us right into December.
All right, let me just run this real quick because this they're giving away some prizes down here, and I want to make sure I get this right. Okay. Join us for the Field of Fork at Chesterfield at Cabela's. Vacuum sealing keeps your food more fresh and flavorful than the conventional freezing process. We're going to talk about vacuum sealing, which I'm a big fan of.
I tell you what, I got mine last year, and it is awesome.
It is. It's great. Processing your harvest. Our outfitters will show you the basics on using the correct knives, cures, and cookware, and more. And then grinders and dehydrators. Learn the tips and tricks for grinding, slicing, and dehydrating your harvest. The first 25 customers to attend each seminar, that's 3 of them, so that's 75 people, will receive a free LED lantern. Plus, they will be entered in a chance to win an Outdoor Edge game processing kit.
And that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I've seen those. Those are pretty
nice.
nice.
Those are pretty sharp.
So
get it sharp.
Yeah. See what I got to work with, people.
But anyways, so we'll be there November 3rd, 10 till 4. Kind of going through all those things. It'll be fun. You know? They're gonna have us doing something. They said they'll provide the stuff to cure, grind,
all that kind of stuff.
All that stuff. So you got to show up. Come on down.
Matt Howard says P.S. bows are quiet. So there's no There's no It's just there it is.
Right?
So, like I said, no predictions.
No predictions. But we'll keep everybody updated how Mike's doing. And Tom Gensel says, good hunting and be safe for all.
Right on.
Absolutely. If you're going to be in a tree, wear your
safety harness.
Absolutely.
Yep. Got mine sitting over there in the bottom of the cabin floor over there. Actually, I'm in the market right now for some new safety lines.
Okay.
I've got almost one in every tree stand now. I don't like taking them down and taking them with me and putting them up because I like when I put the tree stand up, I want them in the tree stand right there ready to use, so I don't have to make that first climb without it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
basically, you want one per stand.
Yep. So
makes sense.
That's something I'm going to be maybe taking care of this week as well and getting those secured. So, see what I did there?
Yeah, I see that. See?
Uh-huh.
See? Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, for those of you on the podcast, if you're out hunting, be safe. Put your safety vest on. Like I said, get out there, do a little exercise. It'll do your body good, but more importantly, we don't want anybody having a heart attack out there. So
that's right.
Not that I'm a doctor or anything, but I'm going to start this journey, and hopefully it'll take me in good places. So
absolutely.
For the podcast, that'll do it for us this week, folks. And for those of you on the live stream, if you got any questions or anything you want to have a quick little chat,
and those on the live stream,
thanks, Denny. I appreciate it, man. I really, you know what? Even if I don't get a deer, it's going to be good hunting because any time in the woods is a good time. And what I've been through this year at work, this is going to be some very needed time off for me. I've already canceled 2 vacations because of work, because trying to keep my job.
It usually helps.
And that's what I've had to do. And now I get to go play.
So, Matt Howard says good luck.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Those on the live cast still got a chance.
That's right.
Go share the Hunter's Blend, which is pinned to our top of our page, and go put 2 friends on there. Get yourself entered again and again and again. Get yourself a possible 2 pounds of coffee and a tumbler, which isn't right here.
2 12-ounce bags.
Is that what it is? 12-ounce bags. And the 2 people that you put in that post will each get a bag.
That's right.
And
closes at midnight, folks.
Closes at midnight, absolutely. So,
no soda walk 3 to 4 miles a night, drop 75 pounds in 5 months. Man, that's awesome, Matt. Thanks, Denny. Yep, correct. Yep, got that, man. Need to borrow Danny's cover scent. Tim, we've had this discussion, my friend. I'm sorry.
Tim, I'm not going to let him use it. I'm saving it for all myself.
You know, I just don't like using any scent at all on me. I've tried some stuff, and
I put it on my blind. I sprayed it all over my blind.
Okay.
Because I was grabbing the brush and everything, brushing it all in.
Okay.
So I just took it and I just sprayed down the whole entire blind.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the thought process there. Thanks, Matt. The wife loves it. That is awesome. Make sure that we'll make sure and tell them when we talk to them this week that we got some good positive feedback. Tim, I know he's got a bag of it that we sent him, and he loves it as well. So,
cool.
Very cool. But I don't know, man. I even debated about shaving my head. I really wrestled with that today. I cleaned up the face, and you know me, man. I'm just...
Yeah, you are.
I'm a scent control freak, and I know there's a lot,
Well,
most of your scent comes out of your head.
That's a good test. Sit in here with all your hunting clothes on, and what doesn't sweat.
I tried that here at the beginning of the show, if anybody was watching.
See, I could have used the cover scent on you and sprayed you down.
God, I was roasting, man.
Nah, well, you got the lights.
Yeah, we don't even have the heat on in here. And
right?
So,
but, yeah.
Hopefully next week we will have the winner here, and I can actually put it on the podcast. Although we won't be live streaming, but we will post it on our page.
Yeah, we'll get it posted who the winners are, and we'll talk about it next week.
Hopefully you're coming up to camp.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what the week brings us.
Hopefully some good weather.
That would be nice.
So, anything else out there, guys? We'll give you a few more seconds here to, if you got something, shoot it over to us here. We'll give you a minute or so.
You are right. No scent is good sense.
I like that, Denny. It's just, I don't know. There's two sides to this argument. I mean, obviously, but there's guys who use cover scent and there's guys who don't. And I worked so hard to not have any scent, and control my scent. I just don't like I don't know. I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice. And it's nothing against Tim's stuff. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just
it's personal preference.
I just work so hard to make sure that I've got everything in check, my boots, my gear, like I said, I even shave my head at times to eliminate the hair. But
I wonder how it'd work as aftershave.
I heard doe urine's pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
I think I've seen the video on that, and I think you don't want to do that.
Give it a whirl, see how it works for you.
You'll be out there. Why don't you try it first?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Hunter's Blend right there, guys. Make sure you get over there and get on that post. So we're gonna sign out. That'll do it for us this week. And remember, we'll be back in 2 weeks on the live stream here. No live stream next week, and hopefully we got some good news to report.
Absolutely.
So everybody out there, be safe in the woods. Get out there, have some fun, and we'll talk to you here in a couple weeks. Take care.